Hi and welcome to another video from wptoolkit.com. Today I want to take a look at taking total control over the formatting of your content in your posts and pages to make your content look more professional using a drag and drop page builder. Now I've been going through and testing out the main market leaders for this, and I found one that stands out ahead of the crowd. It's called Divi Page Builder plugin. It is a paid plugin and costs $89 per year for unlimited sites, but in a moment I'll tell you how you can get it for free. First, let's take a look at what a premium page builder like this can do for you and for your site's content. Once you've installed and activated the plugin, there are some options available. Plugin options here allows you to hook up to your MailChimp or Aweber account if you use either of those autoresponders. That way it will automatically pull in the lists for you if you're adding an opt-in box, which is one of the standard library options available in Divi. The Divi library, that's where you can save modules that you create as you're going through. And you can then export them so you can import them into other sites that you own and use. So you can have your own library of tools and standard modules that you share amongst your different sites and indeed your client sites. And the Divi role editor is just who gets to use what within the editing in case you have people who have access to your site but you don't want them having access to Divi Builder. Right, let's go across to Pages and let's edit the About page. Now this is a fairly basic generic about page that really does need updating and making look a bit better. I've got some standard text in there, very little and very basic as I said. So what I'm going to do is click on Use Divi Builder to switch that on and get rid of the standard old-fashioned WordPress editor. So let's switch that on and we can scroll down a bit and we can see here we have the basic format available. But what I'm going to do is click Load from Library and see if we've got something available that will give us a head start. And there are quite a few options. We've got Homepage Basic, Shop, Portfolio, Portfolio Company, Corporate, all sorts of different options just to get you started with a template to make life easier. And this really does speed things up. So I'm actually going to go with the About Me template as it's an About Me page. Kind of like when you're writing some fresh content, it is actually helpful if you're not starting with a totally blank page. Makes life a bit easier. So what do we got? We've got a full width slide at the top. That I'm happy with. We'll play with that in a moment. We've then got text, 2-column format of text and bar counters. Not sure I actually want that. What I'm going to do is delete that, insert columns. Let's go for 2. And we're going to go with text on the left. If I can find the text option, there we go. And dark color on left orientation. Let's scroll down and let's actually pop some text into there. I've got a bit of text pre-written, so I'm just going to pop that in. I'm not going to do a lot of formatting here. Obviously there's a lot that I can play around with here, but I'm just going to keep it quick. The admin label, this is About Us. Let's say the admin label, that's basically the label for this module so you can actually see what it is. CSS class, you'll notice there's general settings, advanced design settings and custom CSS. Custom CSS allows you to really add extra CSS in the different areas that you can use. Very powerful if you're into using CSS. It's quite advanced stuff. The advanced design settings, basically the general settings are what you're going to be using most of the time. Advanced just gives you a bit more control. So if we wanted to change the font, we could change the font size, change the spacing, all these sort of things we've got access to in the advanced settings. Now I can save things to the library or save them and add them to the library. So if this is something I'm going to be using over and over again, then I may want to add it to my library. For instance, if this was an About Me bio that I'm going to use on more than one of my sites, then I could add it to my library and export it to import it on another site. However, this I'm just going to use here, so I'm going to click on Save and Exit. So that's the About Us done, or About Me. Let's click on the next one, and what I want is right there, a contact form. Display capture, yes, the email will be email@seouk.com. Title, let's call it Contact does. Keep it simple. Admin label, contact form, great. Again, you can see in the general settings, that's all we need to do. Advanced settings gives us a lot more control again. And then again, you have the custom CSS. But I'll click on save and exit. Now, what do I want next? What I might do is add another row in. And this time for the row, I'm going to go with 4 columns. And let's go with a blurb. Where is a blurb? Blurbs are quite cool. You see them on a lot of blogs nowadays, but I'm not seeing it all. There we go, blurb. You can see there are a lot of different options here. Okay, title. So this will be blurb 1. I'm going to call this one services. You can put a URL to link to if you want to, and whether it opens in the same window or another window, new window. Use icon, that is the bit that we do want to use. So let's go with services. What's a good icon for services? Basically choose something that is representative of what you're doing. Let's go with the gears there. And select color. Let's go with something quite bright. Again, you've got a lot of control here. Circle icon if you want to. Image placement. Text color, I'm going to go with light. And let's actually put the text in. I've got some already written out here. So there we go. So text orientation, let's go with that on center. And scroll down, admin label. This I'm going to say it is blurb services, so I know which one it is. And let's click on save and exit. Obviously it's very quick there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cheat a little bit rather than going through and setting those up individually. What I'm going to do is click on clone or copy and then move each one into that box. If I can get it in there. Come on, there we go. And then again, so it saves doing them individually. All I now need to do is go in and edit each one with the relevant details for each one. I'm going to pause the video while I actually do that. Now, as you can see, I've basically changed the title, the text, and the icon for each of those. So I've got services, training, products, and support as 4 separate blurbs. Now let's add another row. This time I'm going to go with 3 columns again, and let's go with an image. Let's find the image icon. There it is. Let's upload an image. I don't know what I've got in my media library here. Probably not something I want to use. So let's go with adding a new one. And once that is uploaded, we'll set that as the image. And we can scroll down the image alternative text. Let's say the first one's going to be services. And the image title text, again, services, if I can type it correctly. Open in lightbox, yes please. Animation left to right, remove space below the image, yes or no. Image alignment, admin label. This is again what the name will appear back on our editing page, so it can be quite useful. I'm going to call it services. Actually, no, I'm going to call it coffee pick. And again, let's click on save and exit. Again, I'm just going through the general settings here. There is a lot more available in the advanced settings. You can do all sorts of different things, but I'll just keep to the general settings to keep this video reasonably short. Let's click on save and exit. Let's do another image. There we go. And let's upload another image. This time we'll go with another fresh one. Some cool shades. Set as the image. This is, if we did services last time, this one will be training. And image title text, also training. Open the lightbox, yes. Link URL if we want one. Admin label, those were shades. Again, just so I know which one it is, click on save and exit. I'm going to do that one more time. One more image. Upload, and what have we got? Let's go with one more random image grabbed. Set as image. Let's scroll down. This would be products. I believe we've done training and services. So let's go with products and call call it products again. Scroll down, open a lightbox, animation, URL, admin label. This was a clock pick, just for reference. Save and exit, so I can now see I've got a coffee pick, shades pick, and clock pick. Now I've basically effectively set up 3 separate areas of content there, and I want to separate those a little bit visually on screen. So what I'm going to do is click on the settings for this middle one, and let's go to advanced settings, and let's choose a background color that's actually a bit darker. Let's go with something that's, let's say, a really darkish blue. Okay, now if you remember, we use light colored text on this particular one, so the dark blue will make that stand out better, and it will pull a difference between the content above and the content below, because that's how we've got the standard light background that we're using. Okay, so that this video doesn't end up being hugely long, I'm actually going to get rid of this bottom section and just add another row for one more type of content. Let's go again with 3 columns wide, and I'm just going to go with some text ones simply because I want to set up some bullet lists. But while I'm here, I mean, you can see the number of different options available: videos, video sliders, testimonials, pricing tables, really great, post titles, number counters that will count up or down on numbers, images, as we've already had a look at, email, opt-in or contact form, which we've already used. So pretty much anything that you're going to need for the different types of content you've got covered here in the modules already. Well, let's go to text, and I'm actually going to pause the video while I quickly set up 3 bullet lists on these 3 separate columns. Okay, so I've simply set up 3 sets of bullets for services, training and products. Let's go back up to the top. We've got a fair amount of content down there, and what I want to do now is go to the slider and actually change the settings and get this set up, because we haven't got anything set up here yet. Okay, so let's click on the settings and put in a heading and scroll down a bit, or put in a button text, join today, and button URL for the sign up, wherever that may be. Let's go with, let's type it in correctly. Okay, so we've got a link there that it's going to redirect to if someone clicks the button. The background image, let's upload a nice big background image that will give us something cool. And there we go, let's set that as the background. So that's quite a light background. What I want to do is have a dark text. Where is the text? Okay, slide video, alternative text. Right, so I want to go with dark text on there. You can see there's all sorts of options here. You can have a color as a background, you can have an MP4 video or WebM, background video width. The options here are, again, you can do pretty much whatever you want. But the thing we do need to do is put a bit more text in to go underneath. And let's put the label. This is slider, whoops, I can't type today, slider 1, click on save. Now what I'm going to do is add a new slider, and this time we're going to have a slightly different heading. Let's go with this, possibly a bit long, but there we go. Let's upload a new image. Let's go with this one. So this is a new background image. Click on set, and again we can have a, where we missed the button, button text, join today or join now. Obviously you can test different options, see what works best, and again let's put in our URL for anybody taking action. That can be whatever you need. It can be a page on your own site, wherever you need it to go. And again, let's scroll down. We want the text color light on this one, and we're going to pop in the rest of the text. There we go. Admin label, slider 2, click on save, And so we now have 2 sliders on our slider. We can have as many there as you want. I'm just going to leave it at 2 so you can actually have a look at what we've done so far. And again, all sorts of other options here, again more in advanced settings. Okay, let's click on save and exit, and let's scroll down. Let's scroll up and go to update and update our post or our page with this new information. Okay, took a second or two while that page updated. Before we actually go and look at our results and see the new page, there's one other point I want to make. If you click on use default editor here, it will come up with a big warning saying, do you want to disable the builder, yes or no? Because this will get rid of all the content you've created using Divi Builder. It'll all be gone, okay? So if for any reason you do want to go back to that, I'd suggest that you actually save this to your library and give it a name so that if you need to, if you decide to come back to it, you've got it and you can reload it from your library, okay? So click on Save Library. You can do that for modules, you can do it for rows, you can do it for sections, you can do it for complete pages, the whole lot. And when you're saving things, you do have the option to have global settings. For instance, if that About Us was a module that I wanted to use across several different pages, then I could set it as a global module and save it with global settings so that whenever I update the information on it on any page, it will sync across the whole of the site on all the pages that use that module. So it keeps it all up to date, which is very, very useful and powerful. Okay, so let's actually go to our About page. This is the original version. This is what it was like before we started playing around with it 10 minutes or so ago. So let's hit refresh and look at the new page that we've designed in literally 10-12 minutes. As you can see, we've got our slider here at the top with a nice big backgrounds, and we can go from one slider to the other, and there's the text. We've then got a bit of description, a contact box, with a capture there. We've got our icons, so our blurb. We've then got our images that we set up, and we've got some bullets appearing as well. I might want to play around with those to change the format to get them to look a bit nicer. Now it's not looking perfect yet because I need to tidy it up, but you can see how quickly you can make these kind of professional changes to your blog with the Divi Builder very, very easily. Now, obviously, this video has now been going on 10 or 12 minutes. It's dragging on a little bit, and I've only really skimmed the surface of what this plugin can do. Once you get into it and start playing around with it, the type of professional looking posts and pages that you can create with this plugin are pretty much endless. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Divi Builder plugin is a paid plugin that costs $89 per year for unlimited sites. However, here's the good news. We've been able to take advantage of the licensing for the Divi Builder plugin to include it in the WP Toolkit membership. So our users get the latest version included in their membership at no extra cost. And that's just one out of the dozens of premium plugins and hundreds of premium themes included in WP Toolkit, along with hundreds of tutorial videos covering all aspects of setting up and using WordPress, making it a true one-stop shop and resources membership for any WordPress blogger. Check it out for yourself to see how you can benefit from a WP Toolkit membership. And thank you very much for watching.